I want to. Honoree is Paul Cooper, and accepting with him is wife Susan. Paul Cooper was born in 1944 in Wenatchee, Washington, into a very musical family. He began singing with his mother and grandmother earlier than he can remember, listening to the radio and a collection of records by Bob Wills, Pee Wee King, Spade Cooley, Gene Autry, Hank Thompson, and many other artists of the era. He learned to sing all the hits of the day and would perform for anyone who would listen. Paul has worn many hats in the music business as a band leader, bassist, rhythm guitarist, singer, songwriter, AFFM business manager, and mentor. Music was always at the forefront of his life. In a professional career spanning more than 5 decades, Paul has played extensively throughout the Northwest, West Coast, Montana, Texas, Tennessee, Kentucky, other southern states. He performed in many settings, playing bars, dance halls, fairs, festivals, theaters, and auditoriums. Paul has shared the stage with such legendary performers as Ernest Tubb, Dave Dudley, Red Simpson, Del Reeves, Ferlin Husky, Little Jimmy Dickens, Mel McDaniel, Mel Street, Hank Williams Jr., Glenn Barber, Gene Shepard, Jack Green, Jeannie Seeley, R.C. Bannon, the Mandrell Sisters, Johnny Paycheck, Billy Jack Saucier, and Joni Waco, and others. From the early days as a budding young singer to the Western swing band Wild Wild West to a 20-year run with a multi-genre band, the Northwest Harness Company, and audience request band Satisfier, Paul has played every style of music the market demanded, while always keeping place in his set list for classics of his roots. Now, having come full circle, he has chosen to leave the band tours in large venues for more intimate settings, once again as a solo performer and band leader in current Western swing band Pick and Coop. This is Paul Cooper.
Usually I don't do notes, but I'm going to dig out some notes so I keep things in order. There's a lot of people in this organization that were there for me when I was first starting out. There's Tony Arana. I used to go sit in with their band, wherever he was playing, Jimmy Snyder or whoever at the time, Jimmy Webb, steel player. I sat in with those guys and helped me get better. People like Jimmy. Greatest steel player for a singer ever met. You know, if a singer's singing, he could echo them. He could make them, get them back on track. I started out like a little kid singing, and I remember my earliest days of singing standing on a picnic table. And I was singing away, and everyone was applauding, and they're all being nice, and then finally somebody says, "That was great. Now get off the table so we can eat." And that's why I learned you got to have a exit song. You got to have one good song before you get off. They only remember that. And some of the people back there, like Johnny O'Keefe, Red Tail, and the Country Starlighters, people that are maybe forgotten. I don't know if the society has those people in it, going back that far, but great people. And I was lucky enough to get noticed. And as I started getting noticed, I got to play in a lot of really interesting places where they were booking acts every couple of weeks. I got to be in Linwood Tavern after following Arnie Kuhn and the Ridge Runners, who were there like forever. And I did a lot up in the Casino Tavern, Ray Edwards and the Mavericks, another great band. But people that I learned from, everybody I went around to, I picked something off of them. And we had a band, we started our own band called the Wild Wild West. And you wouldn't know it by then, but back then we turned into an 8-piece band, and I was really skinny because we couldn't eat with 8 pieces. There wasn't enough to go around, so we split that into 3 bands. We split it into Wild Wild West, Billy Clay Show, and Northwest Harness Company. And the Northwest Harness Company was a country band, and suddenly Creedence Clearwater Revival showed up. And we began to do their music. We were the only band in the Northwest at the time, I think, was doing all rock and country together. And people thought we were crazy, and it was never going to happen. And it did for about 20 years. And then I got talked into going to Nashville, Tennessee. And I had a big family. I didn't want to go at first, but I turned it down the first time. And the second time, I figured I'll go give it a shot. I went down there and luckily met a lot of people and got to play with a lot of people while I was there. But family situations turned around. That great big table back there, those are my children. They're my children and the children I inherited as a stepfather, but I adopted them and they're my kids. And that's what brought me back from Nashville. And they're here with me today. So anyway, one day I happened to walk into a Western Swing Society showcase up in Linwood Tavern, which I played on my 21st birthday. I was at Linwood Tavern, playing 5 nights a week with a guy named Tex Davenport. And anyway, I met Lou, and she said I should come on there to a jam session. I said, no, I'm going to a bluegrass jam session. And she says, well, if you're going to jam, get up here and jam. But I didn't, and I said, I'll come back next month, and I did. And she walked up to me and handed me a picture she took of me on stage 20 or 30 years earlier. That she says, I remember you because I got this picture. So anyway, she talked me into becoming a regular at your society, Northwest Western Swing Music Society. And I met a good friend there. I met Steve Carter, and we started playing Western Swing again. And anyway, Steve Carter nominated me, and I want to thank him so much for nominating me. And I want to say I'm happy that I came back and took care of my kids because I met my lovely wife, Susan, who I would have never met. And that's a lot better than a career in Nashville. So anyway, I'll say thank you. I really appreciate that. I'm very proud to be a part of it. And thanks for your support.